2009 is one of the best years, not only of my life, but a majority of gamers' lives. This was the mark of a new gaming era. There were so many innovations. Sony had announced the PlayStation 3 in August 3rd of 2009 as well, with the Wii and Xbox 360 dominating the market at the time. Consumers were ready to buy PS3s. They were also ready to buy games. Games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This was a game of games. A true goat of goat games. A Call of Duty title that turned boys to men.
Cinematic as
This
fuck.
Call of Duty lied in a Target bag one time on a coffee table. And so the little
With
kid
like a
me
story
swore I
mode,
was
like
tripping. I was sober. I was a kid. I swore I was tripping balls though. The story was great and the multiplayer was phenomenal. I remember wanting to get to 10th Prestige and only making it to like 8 or 9 and then finally getting to finish it, and there was no better feeling. Which moves me on to my next game, Fear 2. This was another 2009 banger. Many people didn't really enjoy this game as a sequel, but the first one had that like AI system that people really liked. And I'm not sure if Fear 2 actually carried that over, but it just has a special place in my heart. It just gave me the goosebumps and shit like that. I'd play it in the pitch black on a big TV. And I remember my buddy Brian, who put me on the game, was like, "Yeah, bro, if you turn the game off, like the disc tray is gonna open up." And so I always had thought that would happen. And then one day, this motherfucker like had the other controller and like opened it up. And he was fucking with me. But yeah, just an honestly 10 out of 10 game. Like it's scary as hell. The gunplay is like super good. The story is like, it's a sequel, so you can't expect much. But overall, I give it like an 8 out of 10. Prototype is another great game that came out this year. I mean, I say that because this game is rumored to be like the predecessor to like the Spider-Man engine. Like it made the Spider-Man engine, was the beta test for it essentially. It just, I don't know how true that is, but that's what people were saying is a pre-build for the game that's based off of the modern day Spider-Man games for the PS4 and the PS5. The engine is the same though. Like I'm almost sure. And by the end of the game, you're like hitting people with your big ass arm, slinging helicopters like out of the sky and shit, jumping from like rooftop to rooftop. I don't know, just everything about the game feels so good. You just feel like a fucking badass the whole entire time. Not gonna lie. Little game that I've played with many, many different types of people, and that's actually what made the game so fun. The game I'm talking about here is Borderlands. From the cuteness and the animation of the first game and the start of the game to the sweet post apocalyptic storyline that you get to play through and the cool ass guns that you find along the way with your brother or your sister or your best friend or maybe even your mom if she hops on the controller. It's such an easy game to play. Any of those games, honestly, 1 through 3 are just bangers, but Borderlands 1 hit different. I mean, something about the way that the game looked was so new to the gaming scene, and most people didn't like it who were fans of realism. But if you're not a fan of realism and you can appreciate the game's art and the storyline for what it is, it's honestly a super good game and one that changed the way that first person RPGs are really played. This leads me to the opposite end of what I was saying before about playing with different people. It can be quite frustrating in this game. Um, that couch co-op glory, you know. Resident Evil 5. Now, for some people, like they just hate this game. They can't stand it. They're Resident Evil 4 diehard fans or whatever other RE title that they like. But for me, this game holds a special place in my heart. I mean, 2009 was just filled with so many good games, and this is another one of those co-op games that hit for me. I know the controls were a little clunky and the camera could be super shaky at times, but the split screen experience on this game is like no other. And sure, you can get really, really tired of hearing Shiva, Shiva, get over here. Come on, come on. Honestly, I know. Trust me, I know, but it's a good time. I really enjoyed this game, and that's because it has a level of difficulty that's hard to find in games anymore. It's just made for good and bad times, which overall made for a memorable experience. Speaking of memorable experiences, Batman Arkham Asylum. Oh, baby. This game had your heart beating. All right. The Croc fight. All right. Running away from that guy, doing grapple moves, and whooping 20 asses at the same time with the perfect mix of slow mo and all of that. To me, it's just, I don't know. You really feel like Batman. Dusting goons and literally watching them talk shit and then jumping on them and putting the little spray gun bullshit on them and blowing them up. The graphics for the time were insane. I mean, it was better than GTA 4. Like, the graphics were nuts. And to be honest, if you go back and play the game, it actually holds up today pretty well. Batman Arkham Asylum is just one of those games that's like, it's gonna be good forever. It's like Spider-Man Webs of Dimension or whatever, the one where you can play as 1940 Spider-Man. It's just gonna be a good game forever. Like, it's just a goated game. It is what it is. All right. Now let's not forget Valve's masterpiece that released on the Xbox 360 that wasn't the most polished version, but Left 4 Dead 2. Everybody knows that this game is one of the best split screen games you can play, especially for zombies. Obviously, COD Zombies is great and all, but Left 4 Dead 2 had the storyline, it had the better guns, it had the better story, and playing online was so cool. I don't know. Left 4 Dead 2 is literally just a classic. It always will be. Just like Half-Life 2. It's not going anywhere and it's here to stay. And if they come out with another iteration and it's not complete horseshit, then I'm pretty sure everybody will buy it. I mean, most people know about Left 4 Dead 2. Over the age of 14, I'd say, like in this year 2024, I'd say they know what Left 4 Dead 2 is or have heard of the game. It's an extremely good zombie game. I mean, the split screen though on 360, I played the hell out of that as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I say boomer, like before the meme thing was out, my brothers and sisters knew what that shit was. Or smoker, like that shit. Like we always thought that was funny. Not to mention at the time, there's Angry Birds coming out, Plants vs. Zombies. This is like mobile gaming is starting to come up onto the horizon, starting to be taken a little bit more seriously. There's in-game microtransactions and everything like that. So these companies can start making money and start making more games. And as you guys have seen in the recent day, mobile gaming is going to take off incredibly. I mean, COD Mobile, you could play Warzone on your iPhone now. That's how far we have come as far as mobile gaming. And 2009 was just a pivoting point for gaming as a whole. It was something to be cherished. And if you were there for it, it was just glorious. All of these beautiful games and new consoles and all of this pivotal technology is all coming out within a year's span. I mean, it was so much to take in at the time, and it was so great to take in at the time that no matter what else was going on around you, all of this gaming industry shit was just so cool. Like reading Game Informer and seeing that these games were coming out every single month was insane. There was nothing like it. And that's exactly why 2009 was the best year for video games. All right, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different, and if you did enjoy this video, make sure you click that subscribe button. If you guys stick around, I think I'm going to start streaming on YouTube a whole lot more because Twitch is just not really doing it lately. But if you do want to follow me on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/shadow, and I do stream there almost daily, or I'd say bi-daily now. I'm trying to get into another job right now, but make sure you guys sub to me. Hope y'all have a good one. Peace. they're like terrified the way they're playing now. It's like they got PTSD.
UAV online.